And I can't laugh at it because, like so many of you who have known people who suffer because of unknown diseases or cancers for which there are no cures, or there is the beginning of, but more work that needs to be done for the cure. What they are doing to push misinformation and lies at the highest level of government, it's criminal. And people will die because of what they're doing. I can't laugh about that. I'm sorry.
That is a decent resume, but go ahead.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
I like the some people say. Very nice, but go ahead.
I'm just speaking fact.
Yeah.
I do want to talk to you about the Democrats. And it seems as though things aren't all that great between former President Joe Biden and former Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, the Vice President has been forced to admit that Joe Biden is dodging her phone calls. Watch this.
Have you talked to him about it?
I called him earlier.
Mm-hmm. How's he doing?
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message after I heard the news. I was otherwise on the event at the event.
Look, I don't really blame Joe Biden for not taking her call. What do you make of it, James?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Joe Biden's got his own problems, and I'm, frankly, not really sure how well he's doing these days. But beyond that, though, this is not the first time Kamala Harris has been, caught out on those phone calls. Remember when she was doing that walk around making a fake phone call?
Oh,
thing,
yeah, for the cameras.
For the cameras.
Social media.
So she couldn't talk or anything like that. This is classic Kamala, and again, this is what we dodged. That is the reality that we could have had as president.
Oh no, I know, and it's really a scary thought, especially when you see where the world is now. You just think, thank God that President Trump survived that
100%.
assassination attempt and was voted in November last year. Yeah, both of them. That's right. Now, but the Democrats are in such a desperate position. They want Kamala to run again.
Do you think that Kamala Harris would be a strong candidate in 2028?
Candidate? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, she was the nominee last time. I think
you would encourage her to run.
I think she would be incredibly strong.
Absolutely. Now, it seems as though the Kamala Harris-Gavin Newsom rivalry.
Do it?
That's right. A lot of Republicans.
Yes, Kamala, listen to the man there. He's right. Get your exploratory committee. Run. Get that nomination.
Well, it's interesting because the Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom rivalry is starting to build to a possible 2028 showdown. Now, we know that Kamala Harris really took aim at Gavin Newsom in her book 107 Days, saying that he never returned her phone call. And then, of course, Newsom is leading this anti-Trump movement in California at the moment. So do you see things really heating up between the two of them over the next few years?
Well, no, because I think that really the Kamala thing is, as much as I joke about it, it's not going to, there's no momentum there. Who's going to look at that campaign? Well, maybe the Democrats, but who's going to look at that campaign and say, yeah, that was so good. We missed it by this much. And if we just had a little more time, we might be able to, do something with this and get her over the line. I mean, it's like, no, of course that's not going to happen. Look, the mail is, it's going to be Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, a state that the Democrats have ruined, and they're going to try and get the nomination of the presidency and do the same thing to the United States, what Gavin Newsom did to California. So that'll be a lot of fun for everybody if he were to win. What he does, though, present is, he's very slick. He looks like a politician. You're looking at him on your screen right there. He's very polished. he will say anything to get elected. But I think also what he's going to do is he's already starting to run a national campaign. He's already running a national campaign. And so this is where it's going. He's just going to be so far out ahead. The other people potentially, Pete Buttigieg, he's nowhere. Nobody wants him. It's not because he's gay. It's because he was a terrible transport secretary. He was such a terrible transport secretary that Americans actually knew who the transportation secretary was when he was office. That's how bad he was. No normal person should know that. And people like Pritzker out of Illinois, well, again, he's not going to be there. And although there's a lot of money, the Pritzker family is a billionaire family. He doesn't look the part, let's just say.
Well, it's interesting. I'm not as convinced as you are about Kamala Harris. I'm sure plenty of her staff around her. She's got people convincing her that she almost won. She's still saying it in speeches. She's trying to rewrite history. She completely forgot that Donald Trump won the popular vote, all 7 swing states. But you're right about Gavin Newsom. He'll say anything to get elected. He's flip-flopped on trans issues, and he's got his podcast, and his whole social media strategy at the moment is bizarre, trying to kind of mimic Donald Trump. It just absolutely does not work. It'll be a disaster. But